Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Full Throttle Racing's Division 2 evening of racing ahead of us. We are at the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit, Sakhir International Circuit, if you will. And the guys are just starting their Q2 session. My name is Webbo, here to take you through tonight's action, as usual. And as usual, unfortunately, I have to give you a little warning, just that we may end up with losing the stream. It was difficult for me to even get in and get it started today. So do go back to the channel homepage and hit refresh if we lose the stream. Unless you see host has been transferred or whatever the terminology is, I should be able to get us back in. But welcome as you all start to join us here today. It looks like Hashim is about to start his first Q2 lap. We have 14 drivers with us for qualifying 2. We are expecting 1 or 2 more through the course of qualifying in order to get underway for the race. We did have 15, or at least there were 15 numbered cars in Q1. Someone has dropped out, unfortunately, but Hashim will take us through his first flying lap then as night sets and we are in darkness here for the qualifying session. Difficult turn 1. I'm hoping that we'll have a more fun, action-filled race at this track than perhaps we witnessed at the weekend. Into turn 4 then. We should see cars attempting overtakes through there, and we saw several side-by-side moments through this S's section and down to the near hairpin of turn 8. It's very slow down here before a little short shoot before one of the most difficult braking sectors in all of Formula 1 calendar, and that is the turn 9 and 10 section of the racetrack. Now the back straight here, DRS will be enabled, but rare to see a move going on into the next very wide open S's section of turn 11, 12, and then another right-hander into 13, where we'll pick up a new sector time. What's left is a short straight and one right-hand braking and turning section. This is turn 14. 15 is just an acceleration zone if you can get the car pointed in the straight line. DRS open down the main straight then and over the line. A 1:29.744 for Hashim. And we've got laps ongoing for other drivers as well. I think that might be Brad about to cross the line, is it? It is. So Brad will cross the line with a 29.665. I'm expecting to see the likes of Uzi come through shortly, as Nick Gishan goes fastest at 1:28.998. Very nice first banker lap there for Nick. And Uzi will cross the line shortly, and he gets 4th place, but just a warm-up lap here for the second McLaren driver. Looks like we've got an Aston Martin crossing the line now, just starting a lap. Let's see Midas and Razor, who are in the Mercedes Silver Arrows. Just finishing off Midas' lap here. Got a lot of rotation at turning point for turn 14 there. And over the line, that's a 3rd place 29.740, and Razor will follow him across the line and get 5th place 29.836. Left on track then are Jacques Slater here, and we've also got Avalak, our leader of the server and leader of the championship at the moment. Here is Jacques 1:39.47. I think the drivers will be able to get a bit quicker than that as Avalak is on his lap. Let's see what Uzi's doing, because he goes into turn 11 now. This is his 2nd lap. He ran a charge lap on the tyres, although it is a very high degradation circuit, so I'm not thinking that this is the ideal way to go qualifying. The other Red Bull of Stoffel is on an outlap, about to finish that outlap. Here we go then into the final 2 turns for Uzi. Can we beat our teammate? Can we get ourselves onto the front row? No, a 1:30.187. and that might be an indication there of the additional tyre deck. Chums goes a 1:29.476. I think he'll be pretty pleased with that one. And we've got one of the Alfa Romeos about to start their lap. But let's ride with Avalak, and once the first runs are done, I'll take you through the full standings. Just a reminder, if you're late joining today, if we do lose the stream, please come back and go to the channel homepage, press refresh after a few minutes, and we'll be right there with you as soon as we possibly can be. Avalak then second place, 1:29.240, just 3/10 away from provisional pole, and a 5-place penalty for Jacques has been awarded, unfortunately for him, for a collision. So Jacques will not do much better. It looks like the two Alpha Tauri teammates ended up coming together. Katuri Levy has retired from the session, and we saw someone retire from Q1 as well. So they were eliminated. Here comes Stoffel. A few times still to add onto here, and Etienne Smith says go Aston Martin, so cheering on Chums. If you're pleased that Chums is in third already. Stoffel fourth, a 1:29.631, and down on track at the moment is Pampern and Sir Hamrick. Pampern then for the line, fastest time overall by 2/10 of a second, just over a quarter of a second in fact. Pampern at 1:28.729, and he has been building the speed in the latest few rounds here in our season 8 of Division 2. That is Sir Hamrick across the line, a 1:30.438. So while the cars are on outlaps or in the pits, let's talk you through the championship standings. As I mentioned, Avalak leads. He's on 132 points ahead of 115 point shot Hashim. There's a bit of a gap then. Down to third place is 0-2 Cool on 85, followed by Stoffel on 80. Chums on 68, Pampern on 66, Midas has 61 points in 7th, and then in 8th, Uzi 56, Nick Gishan 51, and Shakes is in 10th on 49 points. Your standings brought to you by Auto Magneto, and then we also have the constructor standings, and these are cross-divisional, you will of course remember. And Red Bull Racing are on 681 points, almost double what Alpha Tauri have in second on 367. Ferrari are close behind, 351. McLaren 303, and Mercedes have 277.5 points in 5th place. Aston Martin 268, Alpine 192, Alfa Romeo 177, Haas 145, and Williams only 55 points so far. Etienne is Top Gun. He says thanks to the electricity supply he cannot race. Yeah, unfortunately that is the story of this division, is it not? We have all manner of problems with that. Dixie Killer says let's go Chums. So Chums getting a lot of love, and Saltzmeister has joined to cheer on Pampern, who retires from the session, happy with his job done in P1 there. John Hannes then a 1:29.766, and Hashim is back out again on his next attempt. We've got Uzi as well. Hashim won't be happy with 8th at all. He'll be looking to move forward, and 6/10 of a second is his improvement over one sector of the racetrack. He'll be hoping this guy gets out of the way, and he does. It was an Alpha Tauri. I think we've only got the one left. It must be Jacques. So Hashim needs to get the car neatly into turn 10. Misses the apex by a long way into turn 10. So we'll have lost some of those 6/10 that he gained earlier on into turn 11 then. And after 12 we get another update. Francois Pinard says go Stoffel, which is good to see. And well, that was about an equitable sector then, or relative to his first time for Hashim. So monstering that first sector, level pegging on the second. That's breaking point then of the track for him as we go towards the line. 6/10 will find us very high up the order, and it's second place, an 8/10 of a second improvement up to P2 for Hashim. Be very, very pleased with that kind of progress. Jack is now on a flyer. We've got Brad on a lap as well. Where is Brad at the moment? He is just rounding turn 10. So we'll go see him in a moment once we've seen Jacques across his first sector. So this is turn 4. Need to stay right across those hatchings. And that's a quarter of a second up for Jacques. Where is Brad right now? About to get an update on his lap. That's a 6/10 improvement as well, and a purple middle sector. So fantastic stuff. Oh, not so fantastic as Brad wipes out in turn 13. Unfortunately, he was on for a good one there. Has managed to avoid forcible retirement. So not an ideal run at all from him. Let's see Jacques through before catching up with Uzi. Ulrich said Pampern's so quick he retired. Yeah, well, obviously didn't want to tempt fate on there. Uzi quicker than he's been before through sector 1 by about a quarter of a second. Let's see him into his second sector, and he is massively up. Another fastest middle sector, this time for Uzi. Jacques goes across the line and gets a 30.3, which is a good improvement for him, but I think Uzi's going to be moving further forward up the standings. One more corner for Uzi. Usually very well supported, Uzi, one of the Osmans, and he gets 5th place at 29.242. And another really smart improvement from him. Razor next on a lap, perhaps, as he goes through. No, he's actually cooling the car at the moment. We know about Jacques. So I think Chums is on an outlap. We've got Sir Hamrick. Chums is just getting out of everybody's way, but they're all getting out of each other's way. Looks like Razor just really scrubbing those tyres in. There is Chums. Just getting ready for his next lap. Avalak has retired from the session. Stoffel crosses the line to, I think, start his next flyer. He's in 7th place, 29.631. We've got some nice tight times already. Look out for switchbacks in operation through the turn 1 and 2. Good evening to AP Marg. Slightly slower through sector 1, but well within the bounds of an improvement for Stoffel. Another driver missing the apex of 10, but we have seen people do that and still perform in the second sector. Avoiding locking the wheels is the key to speed through there. The top 5 have all retired, just leaving the track open for the drivers to have a fair crack at it. 005 faster now, Stoffel, through this next lap. He's in 7th, currently on the bubble. John Hannes, Razor, Jacques and Sir Hamrick. Gachui Levy will take no further part in qualifying tonight regardless. Little correction on the way out for Stoffel, but a lazy seesaw on the steering wheel. That was an improvement. It wasn't much though for him. Let's see, where is Razor at the moment? We've got Chums on a lap. He's about to cross the line. Chums across, and no quicker for him, unfortunately. We've got Sir Hamrick trying to get himself out of elimination zone, and he will not do that. Razor has invalidated, the checkered flag has fallen, so these laps are the ones that count. Jacques and John Hannes, the only drivers able to lift themselves out of elimination, and it looks to me as if Jacques is not going to be that guy tonight. He's going to pull across to the right hand side of the track. He will go into the pits. John Hannes tries a sneaky little toe, and he jumps up to 6th place at 29.387, a confidence booster for him as he goes through to set that time. Brad, talk about confidence, a purple middle sector for Brad this time, and he manages to survive turn 13 as well. building the speed then towards the line for Brad, and he goes up to 7th on a 29.466. I think that's your lot. Maybe Stoffel will register a time here, although it doesn't look quick, so probably not. No, indeed. Chums, likewise, slow lap here, coming on into the pits. So on track we have a couple of cars, but they've already taken the checkered flag, so that is your qualifying two. Your eliminations will be Razor, Jacques, Hamrick and Katsui Levy. Good to see you guys having fun in the live chat. I'll let you guys get on with it, especially if you're going to type in Afrikaans for me in various places. But that's good to see. So the fastest time, a 28.7. How low can we go tonight? Can we get it into a 28.5 or even lower perhaps? Pampern is the fastest driver currently. And there you see confirmation. He will go into the next session the most confident of all. Then Hashim, a 28.916. Nick Gishen, Avalak, Uzi, John Hannes, Brad, Chum, Stoffel, It's Midas. In that order will qualify in the next session. And then, unfortunately not, for Razor in 11th. Jacques will have 5 places added to that 12th place, so start 17th or thereabouts, depending on late joiners. So Hamrick is in 13th and Katsui Levy is in 14th. So let me hear your predictions. Can anybody topple Pampern at the top of the standings today? How fast can the pole time go? That's what I'm interested in so far. Last week we got away with 1 session kick. Now I got a session kick before the stream even got underway properly. So maybe that's the one that counts, but I just end up mistiming it with people joining late after load shedding is done. And AP Mark says Pampa and Hashim and Avi for qualifying. Good stuff. That's what we like to see. Good predictions. Out of the pits already is Nick Gishen, always quick off the mark. Here he is in the Haas, getting the car warmed up and ready. Relatively short track here, but as I mentioned, a high degradation, so I don't expect to see the soft tyres be used in racing conditions, so long as strategy goes to plan A or even plan B. I think you're into plan C or D if you're on the soft tyres, or we've got a safety car or something like that. However, there are some close by walls at the Sakhir International Circuit, but most of them are far enough away that we get retirements off track. Let's hope that we can have a nice straightforward race tonight then. Here is Nick Gishen, ready to take us into Q3 properly with an attack lap. Bottas says hey to me, and he says go Mercedes. Excellent. Okay, anyone watching with us who hasn't said hello yet, please do, and I'll give you a shout out. Extra points if you tell me who you're supporting, as usual. So Nick Gishen, first to attempt a time at least, and over the line we go. Another track where there's a little bit of everything here. 3 distinct straights, maybe 4 even distinct straights, 3 DRS zones, and plenty of fast and slow corners as well. In we go to turn 4. It's a bit of a blind exit to turn 4, and we got stuck on the compression going through there on board with Uzi. Midas leaves the session, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back in. And he just lets me know he wasn't even in Q3, he's just sitting in a lobby. It's a shame. So out and back in, I think, is the way to go. And I think that's what he's doing. I wonder if Nick spun early enough in that lap to recover some ERS and have another go. His motors hopefully will be with us as we go into turn 11 on board Hashim. Never touched that curve on the right hand side through turn 12. Straight back out again. Not going to get too excited by the purple sector because it's his first time in the session. Fifth gear, exit. Even then a little bit of wheel spin for Hashim. And we cross the line at 28.516. That is quick. That is very quick in comparison to Q2. And for a banker lap, Stoffel 29.7. Nick Gishen 48 something or other. Uzi in second at 29.270. Who else have we got? John Hannes about to cross the line. And he is going to register a second place, 29.139. Very tidy indeed. Pampern just taking his time here. Wait for Chum's outlap to finish. We've got Avalak on a lap as well. Let's join him. Leading our championship. So Hamrick just taking the blame himself for an issue with the Aston Martin. Just either blocking or a touch of contact. Nothing significant, I don't think. Ulrich says a 28.5 is an excellent lap. I was hoping we'd see that at the death of the session. So if we go even faster than that, it will be tremendous. Avalak then to the line, and it's a 28.924. That's a fair distance away from Hashim currently, who has the lead at 28.5. I think Nick Gishen will be on an in-lap, will he? Maybe not. He's going quicker here. Managed to save enough ERS, and he'll be able to go back round after this lap. And a quick change of tyres and fuel strategy. Nick Gishen second place, 28.788. I'm sure he will feel like he can push from there. Which would be good news for him. It's always good for our race if the fast guys get their laps in. Here's Chums then. One more corner for him. And into third gear. We saw Hashim only go as far as fifth in that corner. Chums then a 29.0. Again, another driver will be pretty happy with that job. Pampern is he fuel burning or is he slow out of turn 13? Did look a little bit on the slow side. I don't think he will set a time that's representative here at all. The warm-up lap and push lap not really working for him, but he goes round again. Instead of coming into the pits, I think he's going to have one go here. Let's ride with Pampern then. As the Red Bull goes into the pits. Nice clear track for Pampern. 5.5 minutes to go before the end of qualifying. We will have a 50% race for you very shortly. Very quick through turns 5 and 6 for Pampern. A bit of oversteer into 8. That was lovely through turns 9 and 10 though. Probably the best we've seen on board a driver go through there so far tonight. Pampern very much able to get the car to the apex. Car getting really light at the rear through turn 11. Got to get some names on these corners now. It's been long enough, hasn't it? Slingshot out of 13 down the final part of the circuit for going into the final two corners. Really feeding the steering wheel out very smoothly indeed is Pampern for the line then, and that is 6th place only. But he had run a number of laps on those tyres, 3 laps on the tyres. So we wait for the drivers to come out for their final runs. A reminder that Avalak is leading the championship, if in case you were late to the coverage tonight. He's on 132 to Hashim's 115. So Hashim needing to lead from the front here and complete a good night's racing. 02 is in 3rd but isn't here so far tonight. Then Stoffel in 4th, but some distance away from the leaders. Pampern with a lot to do to bring himself back into title contention. He's currently only on 66 points in 6th place, but he was the fastest driver in Q2, so maybe there's more to come. Hopefully Midas has got plenty of invites on his way now. We've got the Red Bulls on out laps. Stoffel 3rd in the championship, currently 9th place, so I think expecting to go a little bit better than this currently. Avalak behind, he's in 3rd, a 28.9, needing to find 0.4 of a second, which is a big ask. Nick Gishin, the man most likely to take the pole position away from Hashim on the first run's form. Pampern will be coming into the pits. Hopefully for him there is enough time to get on into the pits and back out again and around to start the final lap before the checkered flag. 2 minutes 29. It's going to be very tight for Pampern if he can do it. So Stoffel, let's go on board with Stoffel until he gets deep into his lap, and we'll see how Avalak is doing. Maybe see Stoffel across turns 1 and 2, shall we? But I want to make sure we stay in touch with the drivers right at the sharp end. Just feeding the car through there. There is Avalak then. We don't get a sector until just before turn 5 through here. Fourth gear going through turn 4, and a sector update. It's slower from Avalak. Where is Hashim? Oh, he's a way off yet. So Nick, the next one to go across the sector. He needs to find 0.2 or just under. So far, he's found almost enough for Hashim, for Nick to catch Hashim in his first sector. How is Uzi doing in 7th? He's much quicker. In fact, he's got a purple first sector, possibly taken too much out of the tyres. Difficult to say. Let's see Nick through turn 9 and 10. That's very slow. Yeah, he's killed the lap, unfortunately. It looks like Avalak has done likewise, and hoping to get back round and start again, I feel. Let's ride with Uzi then and see. He is nearly 0.4 to the good in sector 1. Has he taken too much out of the tyres? Got really good throttle pickup through turn 11 and into 12. That's massive from Uzi. Nearly 0.8 faster. Hashima started his final attempt here. So let's stay with Uzi and see if he can't get himself right up there with his teammate. On track here to get himself very near to the front row. Uzi in P8 goes straight up to provisional pole at 28.505, and Hashim behind is going even quicker. Checkered flag has now fallen too early, I think, for Pampern to register a time, so look out for Pampern in the Ferrari to move forward tonight. He takes the checker, no improvement. So Hashim at 28.516 is only 9,000 slower than his teammate, and that's what he's looking for when it comes to this sector update, and he is 77,000 faster, so he's on it. He's got the fastest middle sector, but he's still got to complete this lap. One more turn to go, in anger here. Great lap from Uzi, says Camilla. Absolutely. Hashim, can he spoil the Osmonds party? Or will it just be McLaren 1-2? And he does get Pip into pole at 28.441. Tremendous stuff from the McLaren team there. Really, really special work. What about Nick? He is 0.2 faster. He could get himself still onto the front row ahead of Uzi. I don't think Uzi would mind too much starting third. That's on the clean side of the track, if such a thing exists in the game coding at least. Nick Gishin then towards the line. Any improvement? Yes, it's provisional pole. It's 1:28.427. Tremendously close from our drivers here. Uzi will go no quicker. That is qualifying done, and Nick Gishin in the last couple of seconds timed that to perfection and gets himself a first place. As AP Mark celebrates for McLaren, unfortunately that's said too soon, because Nick Gishin stole it right at the death by 14 thousandths of a second. A 1:28.427 for Nick in the Haas. Hashim in second, and Uzi less than 1/10 of a second away from pole in third place. Brad starts the next group a long way off from the battle in the top three. Chums in fifth. Avalak down in sixth, but hoping to move forward as he usually does. John Hannes in seventh. Stoffel in eighth. Watch out for Pampern moving forward as well. And Midas, well, he didn't get a lap in due to some lobby issues. So we don't know how quick he can be. But we know how quick is Quick Nick. So as we assemble the grid for the race proper, let me know your predictions for the podium, please. And AP Mark says Nick's lap is alien territory. Well, it's certainly on the bubble, isn't it? Very, very good lap from all the three at the top of the standings, the two McLarens and Nick. Really good to see everybody pushing themselves so hard, pushing each other to new heights. That's exactly what we want to see here in Division 2. And let's see if they can't get themselves up towards promotion prospects. We're expecting to have 2 further races after this one. That will be Silverstone next week, and with the season finishing in Jeddah, which is going to be a very interesting prospect. Should we get there? Everything's sort of pending load shedding and electrical issues, but we have to assume things will go to plan. Countdown almost done, so it's a very, very small amount of time left to get your predictions in. We will have a formation lap. We will have 15 drivers for you to take the race. And let's take a look at the tyre selection. Uzi and Brad have gone for hard tyres, as has Stoffel and Gatui Levy. Interesting choices there. I think the hard tyres will be very difficult in that first stint, but they will obviously get some benefit being on mediums later on. However, I have to say the trend of the season has been toward multiple safety cars, so it's difficult to make a confident prediction as to strategy. Hard to medium, medium to hard is very much plan A for these drivers, around the halfway point, just before or just after, but around that lap 13 onwards for the medium runners, and anywhere from half distance onwards for the hard runners. Bottas says Mercedes 1-2. And Camilla, well, Uzi, Nicky, and Hashim, you're saying for the podium. Well, you're gonna select Uzi to be the winner, are you? Not much of a surprise, but there you go. Should be a great battle at the top, I have to say. Gatui was potentially run out of room by Jacques. We've got a Alfa Romeo doing some interesting things on the back straight here as we move forward, and Bottas, Mercedes 1-2 from 10th and 11th will be something to behold. So remember your 4 drivers on hard tyres: Uzi, Brad, Stoffel and Gatui Levy. I don't anticipate seeing Uzi move forward quickly from those tyres. But if he can hold on to 3rd or 4th place, he'll be in a great place for the race. Of course, especially with the pace he's had already so far. Do we think the Aston Martins will go well here in Bahrain? I wonder. Aston Martin, I should say. So we're almost there. I don't think any of the top 3 have been supremely consistent this season. There have been chinks in the armour and the odd problem here and there. Pampern has been disqualified from the session. Our spectator cam has got really bad lately. It's 5 lights on, it's dropped the clutch and go. Nick Gishen really struggling away from the start there initially in the Alpine of Brad, getting a really nice bite early doors as they head down towards the wide open turn 1. I'm so sorry about this camera angles, but Nick Gishen gets through. Stoffel moves forward and Uzi is tumbling down on the hard tyres. He's got absolutely swamped as we head down towards turn 4. Another potential overtaking opportunity for the drivers, and Uzi is defending with the Mercedes having a look down the inside. The 2 teammates needing to avoid running into one another, and they will continue almost side by side through here. But how about that for Stoffel, up 5 places from his starting position. I thought Brad had the best early bite on the tyres as Razor went really wide, and Uzi massive step out, almost looked like a potential brake test there. Further moving down behind it's Midas and Arno. Uzi down into 10th place now and down 7 places from the start. Those hard tyres really not heating up well. Hashim has dropped down to 4th. Pampern up 4 places. Avalak exactly where he started, and only he, Razor and Jacques can say that after that first run. But Nick Gishen blasting away from the pack at the front of this one. Pampern versus Hashim continuing. The McLarens really struggling on this opening lap to unlock the qualifying pace they clearly had. So Avalak defending also from Sir Hamrick behind. You've got a good idea of their tyre there as Stoffel and Brad, they even made those places up on the hard tyre, so it's not even like that was a universal problem for the drivers. Avalak still needing to watch the mirrors for Sir Hamrick behind. Anybody else? Yes, indeed. Here is John Hannes on Razor and getting the job done into P11 at the start of lap 2. Uzi just in front of them with Sir Hamrick locked in battle with championship leading Avalak, who is really struggling on the tyres. So Hamrick has got them switched on beautifully, and Avalak bringing them in very gently, perhaps too gently. He takes to the inside. Hamrick has a little look, but no doing there. Uzi and John Hannes try to go side by side, but that was never really on for John. He would need exceptional cooperation from Uzi to allow him through. Avalak and Sir Hamrick still locked in battle with Midas joining the party. Got a nice 3-way battle for 6th place developing on our hands. Nick Gishen leads from Stoffel by 3 seconds almost. Then Brad. 2nd and 3rd places both on the hard tyre as Sir Hamrick goes wide. Arno slips, Midas slips up into the gap between the 2 of them. But with that wide open entry to turn 13, Hamrick has the inside line again. And they'll both presumably get some slipstream from the Red Bull in front. No one's fighting over the DRS just yet. It will be enabled but not available until the exit of turn 10 on this 3rd lap. No major moves. That was a bit dodgy there from Arno. And Midas leaving room at the apex like a pro. Arno very much compromised, and maybe a sign now that Uzi is getting the tyres awake. Down to the inside into turn 4 he tries. Arno hangs it around the outside. He'll need to thread the needle on the way out, but he's just got better grip with those medium tyres at this early stage of the race. Pampern is in 4th and he is catching Brad now. Brad likewise on those hard tyres, Pampern on the softs. on the mediums, excuse me, and moving forward from his starting position. He was very out of position, you'd have to say, after a poor qualifying 3. And as AP Mark says, he's up to 4th. Yeah, doing great job so far is Pampern. Uzi slips back further still, down to 13th position. And Midas and Avalak are fighting as well, coming through turn 11. And there's contact on the outside exit. There's a tiniest contact, but it's enough. There is Avalak, our championship leader, with no front wing on lap 3. That is disaster for him. Hashim needs to take advantage wherever possible here, and he has managed to get himself on the back of this battle for 3rd place, led by Brad with Pampern in between them. DRS is open. Pampern has an opportunity here. I think he's biding his time, and Hashim with an invitation. The door was open on the way in. They'll both get DRS going through here, and Hashim knows there's a championship to contend for here. Side by side they go for position 3 on the way into turn 4, and there is Pampern and Brad just holding on. Hashim gaining on the two of them once again, and this is allowing Stoffel a little bit of breathing room behind in the team's championship leading Red Bull. But Stoffel can do nothing for his teammate here. A couple of times already this season he has given up position for his leading teammate, but this is one of those times where he can really move himself forward. Avalak is in the pits. He's put on hard tyres, and with an outside hope of doing 25 laps on them or getting a safety car. But your order on lap 4, Nick Gishin leading by 4.2 seconds, always monsters those early laps. From Stoffel, Brad, Pampern and Hashim on screen right now. Further back, whoa, Pampern messing up turn 13. Further back, Sir Hamrick in 6th, Arno in 7th, Razor, Gachui Levy and Chums complete the top 10. But this is where the real battles are happening. Gachui Levy versus Razor is very close as well. But down the start-finish straight they go. Pampern should have the impetus here. Top speed working beautifully for him. And Hashim will hope to follow through shortly. Pampern up to 3rd from an 8th place start. So really doing incredibly well in this first stint. Those medium tyres very useful for him. Here is Hashim trying to follow through on the second DRS zone. Is he going to go for a switch back or a long way round? It's a long way round attempt, and round the outside he goes. Tyre advantage working beautifully on the McLaren, and well, at least one McLaren the tyres are working for. Uzi down in 11th and trying to make his way forward as well. Chums hanging on in front of Uzi, who went wide into turn 8, maybe outbraked himself slightly there. Razor getting past Gachui Levy, who was slow out of turn 9 and 10. It's only lap 5 and we have had so many overtakes already. Quick check in on positions gained. Stoffel and Pampern up 6, as is Sir Hamrick. Arno's up 7, with Razor up 3, Gachui Levy up 4, Jacques up 2, and everyone else has gone down, apart from Nick Gishin, who is exactly where he started. Here is Razor versus Gachui Levy again. An unusual place to make the move there. And he's going to give up DRS advantage very quickly. Pampern is close to the back of Stoffel. Just watch this battle before moving forward. There is Razor on the inside. Nice helmet coordination with his colour scheme. But Gachui with a great drive around turn 1. Very nicely done. Pampern is safely in the DRS zone of Stoffel. Hashim moving forward as well. You think that Hashim, with the kind of speed he showed in qualifying, possibly the most consistent qualifier across the 3 sessions, didn't quite peak and trough like everybody else. Maybe Nick Gishin would argue he was keeping his powder dry through there. We should see if that proves to be true, especially on the hard tyres later on into the race. Stoffel's looking good though in 2nd on the hard tyre. so he can stop around lap 15 or 16. There is Gachui. He's having a heck of a race. How about that for a move? Very neatly slotted in, and we've seen drivers get that wrong already tonight. So successful pass into turn 11, completed by Gachui, and he's into 7th now. Hashim tight behind Pampern, but he's going to be stuck in a DRS train here. Good top speed on the McLaren. Pampern defends to the inside. It did look like the Red Bull needed to take it easy through there, and Hashim goes round the outside. Will also get DRS on the Red Bull in front to help him defend against the comeback from the Ferrari, and Hashim goes through, almost touches Stoffel, who on the hard tyres is slow and has also used a lot of ERS as well. Razor and Arno swapping round quite tastily there. Indeed. Very tight in the midfield, as well as this battle for second. Stoffel hanging on, but he's 7.2 seconds behind the leader at the moment. Ian Killian, first comment of the evening, says, let's go Pampern. Often gets a lot of support, does Pampern. But Hashim is closing on the back of that Red Bull. Fancy that Hashim has got the pace at the moment. The top pace outside of Nick, at least, who is just pulling away. As many seconds in front as we've had laps so far. Very, very impressive early stint here from Nick. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. The Haas is off the circuit. That's Arno, not Nick. And Hashim then with DRS. I'm not sure that Stoffel will need to fight this one. Don't want to lose any time. In fact, the earlier that the McLaren gets through, the better for him, so he can get some slipstream. He won't get a second. He won't get an attempt here at DRS, so he's going to be on the defensive. Oh, no, he does. There must have been a second detection zone there, working in his favour. That is probably a pretty good thing, having that. Uzi moving up into 9th ahead of Chums. So, lap 8, as the medium runners will be starting to struggle a little. Hashim has got the bulk of the work done here to get past as many drivers as possible, recovering from a poor McLaren start. They're in 2nd and 11th after starting 2nd and 3rd. But Hashim has had to do a lot of work to get back to that 2nd place. And starting to pull away from Stoffel and catch Nick in the front of the order at the moment. Brad has caught Pampern as well. We've got John Hannes and Razor. Gachui's had a problem. That is a big shame, coming through turn 13. Unfortunately for the AlphaTauri driver, it's been somewhat of a difficult evening so far for AlphaTauri. Here is an Alfa Romeo of John Hannes with DRS on the Mercedes, who makes him go round the outside here. There's Razor. John Hannes looking for a good cutback. And now should be able to get that overspeed for the breaking point of turn 4, and does so. Not a lot Razor could do about that. He was a little bit outfoxed by John Hannes' positioning of the car and timing, using that DRS, working well. Gachui Levy is in the pits. It's not a retirement, looks like a straightforward change. He's gone on to medium tyres. I think that's the 2nd set of mediums for Gachui. So up near the front, Pampern is still close behind Stoffel in the battle for 3rd place, but Hashim has almost stretched that lead to a 2nd. Make that it confirmed he is now over a 2nd in front of Stoffel, so Pampern will have the DRS profit on the Red Bull. just as those mediums start to wear off. Stoffel just needed to hang on 1 or 2 more laps and he would have been in a good position. But well, looking for the inside, and there wasn't a lot of room there for Pampern. He didn't want to go around the outside, and that was high risk against the pit wall. Can Stoffel come back at the Ferrari? I don't think so, but he's spent a lot of ERS, has Pampern, and he goes wide into turn 4, hangs on and keeps the overlap. So Pampern up to 3rd place. He has climbed higher than anybody else now so far. I believe that's true. 6 up. So Hamrick up 6-2. So he's done well. Sometimes the cars look so slow, especially coming through turn 10. Brad, the next one to close in on the back of Stoffel, who has, I have to say, after that brilliant start, ended up going backwards in the race order. Oh, and as contact, Brad just missed timing the run. And he's on the same tyres as Stoffel. He'll be annoyed about that one. And it's a little bit early for him to fit mediums, ideally. 19 laps to go, and he's knocked an end plate off the front wing there. So he might need to 2-stop this and hope that there's a safety car coming. But unfortunately for Brad, that damage will be pretty severe, and into the pits he comes indeed. So keep an eye on Brad's tyre choice. Would he risk a set of mediums on the off chance that there's a safety car or 2? He could rescue this. Brad has put mediums on, but 19 laps is a long way to go, even light on fuel, as he will be. Pampern has raced up to the back of Hashim here. And Nick Gishin's lead is 8.5 seconds. So Hashim has slowed a little bit. He was catching Nick Gishin. So either he's not able to go quicker, or Nick has decided to stop playing or stop conserving the car. Another yellow flag. That's Arno off in the background again. Coming through turn 3, an unusual place. That would be the Grosjean corner, turn 3, pretty much. Is it too soon to call it Grosjean's Inferno? Here we go into the final corner then, at the end of lap 10 for Pampern, behind Hashim, and into the pits he comes. So he gets to switch to the hard tyres now, and he wants that undercut if he can get it. The undercut, very difficult to make work, but if it's going to work on any circuit, it'll be one of the highest degradation circuits like this one. So that is the first scheduled stop for a medium runner, I think, that hasn't been brought about by damage somewhere along the way. So just to run you then through the order, Nick Gishin is in 1st position in 12th. Hashim is in 2nd. Sorry, Nick is in 1st position on lap 12. Hashim is 2nd. Stoffel is 3rd. So Hamrick, John Hannes, the Alfa Romeo pairing in 4th and 5th. Razor is in 6th currently. Chums and Midas, all those drivers have yet to pit. Pampern, the first driver to pit, and he's found himself in some good clear air here. Uzi is in 10th, still needing to pit, and started on the hard tyres. Then there is Brad, who has pitted. Gatui Levy likewise, and asking a lot of their medium tyre stretch. Avalak in 13th, your championship leader at the moment, but with a long way to claw back to get even in the points. Then Jacques is in 14th, and Arno, who's spun a couple of times already, in 15th position. Into the pits then comes Nick, end of lap 12, as does Hashim, defending the undercut from the Ferrari. Stoffel will will take the lead of this race for the first time with the pit stop difference. And Nick Gishin is already on his way out of his pit box. He's in third at the moment. I think he will stay there given the amount of pit stops happening here at the end of lap 12 for the medium starters. Midas has managed to get through into the gap between Nick and Hashim. And Uzi versus Pampern, as Pampern's hard tyres taking some warming up here. I still think Uzi could feature in the battle for the podium later on. With that qualifying speed he had on the car, could still bring himself forward on the medium tyres later on. So gap to leader at the moment. Let's take a quick look at that, shall we? Gap to leader for Uzi, only 23 seconds, and the leader has yet to pit. So make that 20.